Hi बच्चों, a very good evening and a very warm welcome to today's session. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine and amazingly well, taking good care of yourself and your loved ones. Let's get started with today's new chapter of geography, which is also the last chapter of geography, population. Population में आज हम discuss करने वाले हैं population size and distribution, and we will also talk about population size and distribution in India and overall across the world. What does it mean, what does it define, all of that. ठीक है, so let's get started. Let me quickly introduce myself. Hi बच्चा, मेरा नाम अंकना है and I am your expert for social sciences at Embibe. I also specialize in English because I have done my studies in the field of humanities and have been associated with the field of education for more than 9 years now, where I've had the wonderful opportunity of teaching both the students of CBSE and ICC board online and offline, and it has been a great journey. So that was a quick introduction about me. Now let's have a quick introduction about the chapter as well. So as I told you, population is the chapter that we are going to do. This is the chapter which was eliminated from the syllabus for a good amount of time in the past 2-3 years, but has been included as per the rationalized and updated syllabus of CBSE. ठीक है, तो ये जो पूरा चैप्टर है has been and can be divided in these 3 major topics, which is your population size and distribution, which is also our topic for today. This is the portion that we'll be covering today. Then you have population growth and changes in population, and then the adolescent population and NPP. What is that? You will get to know when we talk about it in the session. I will explain it to you. What is the national population public policy, all of that. Okay? Now, what are the topics, what are the concepts that we will be understanding today? The following as listed are the concepts that we will be covering today, which is how is a population plays a pivotal element of social studies? How is it important? Why is it important? Population of India kya hai? We'll do a study about that as well. India's population size and distribution by numbers, and India's population distribution by density. So numbers and density, which means are 2 different things when it comes to population. What is the difference? How can you exactly define it? All of these things will be done in today's session. So while we get started, please make sure that your friends are informed that I am live. ठीक है, उनको भी बता देना है. We are just getting started, and this is an important chapter in terms that it may seem with a lot of data and get confusing for us, but is one of the most simplest chapters. तो इसको थोड़ा simplify करके अच्छे से process करेंगे, understand करेंगे. ठीक है, so let's get started. Let's see who all do we have over here. Hi Shubhra, hi Stasha. नहीं, national vegetation we have not done. बच्चे, as per the syllabus, national vegetation will only be asked for map marking. So theoretical perspective में this will be your last chapter from geography. National vegetation, because will only come for map marking, I will do it only after this chapter. I wanted to finish off the theory chapters first. So national vegetation and wildlife, we have parked it for later. Okay? So I see Drushti was there. I remember in the beginning she had written hi. So hi Drushti, hi Stasha, hi Shubhra. Who else do we have? और कौन-कौन से बच्चे हमारे पास? Hi Anjali, good evening. जल्दी से hi लिख दो so that I can say hi back at you and also address and acknowledge your presence in the session. और कौन-कौन से बच्चे हैं? Who else do we have? Mark your attendance by saying hi. Also let your friends know that we have started with the session, you guys. किसी का भी छूटना नहीं चाहिए. We are almost on the verge of finishing our syllabus. Geography तो इसके साथ almost finish हो जाएगा. सिर्फ natural vegetation and wildlife की map marking रह जाएगी. That will do towards the end, and map के लिए dedicated sessions also I'll be doing where we can revise that and understand that, right? Hi Sai Tanmay, hi बच्चे. मैम, because हमारे स्कूल में नेशनल वेजिटेशन खत्म हो गया है. अच्छा, हाँ ठीक है, I get it कि क्यों खत्म हो गया है. They might be going in the sequence, right? बच्चे, I am speaking in English. 100% English is not going to happen because there are also students who are a little comfortable in Hindi. So I'm going to speak both the languages, but whatever I speak, you will be able to make sense out of it. Ilamaran.r. I hope I've pronounced it right. Okay guys, let's get started. So did you know that there is something called Earth Overshoot Day? Have you heard this term before? Overshoot Day? Earth Overshoot Day? Till the longest period, I didn't know there existed something like this. It sounds a little made up. doesn't make a lot of sense, but is there. Okay, so it's basically a calendar day in a year on which humanity will be using up all the resources the planet can produce in that particular year. Okay. But yeah, as I said, I'll be speaking a mixture of Hindi and English. That doesn't mean that there will be any information which will be only spoken in one language. It just means that whatever I'm explaining will be explained in both languages. You can just focus on the English parts of the session. That will help you understand what I'm teaching, and the other students who don't know English or are not comfortable with English, they can focus on the Hindi parts. Simple, win-win, right? That's what accommodation is. Unity in diversity. So basically क्या होता है, what happens is that there is a day where there are multiple resources that we are using, right? We are aware that we use natural resources, man-made resources, अलग-अलग तरह के resources हमारे पास हम सब इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Now the Earth Overshoot Day is said to be that day that every year there are 10,000, let's say there are 120 resources that we have come up with, that we have found and that we are ready to use as humans. But there would be days where we are not using everything. There would be days where we are using some things. And then there comes the day, which is your Earth Overshoot Day, where we are using all of the resources that we have developed, that we have found up to the limit. So in 2022, the Earth Overshoot Day fell on the July of 28th. Over time, it has continued to decrease due to the growing human population and their activities. So you're understanding. In the simplest way, if I have to explain it to you, let's say we are going to party. हम कहीं party करने जा रहे हैं. Now, I decided I'll go and I'll take my students. I'll take you guys and we'll celebrate the exams getting over and our performance and our hard work. ये सारी चीज़ें हम celebrate करेंगे. So we go to a venue. Now, because we are going to a specific place with, let's say, 50 of us. Me, few of my friends, my family. And then I take all of you guys, all my students. हम सब मिलके जाते हैं. Now we will need a stock of food, water, fuel, wood to maybe light up the barbecue or the fire. ये सारी चीज़ें हमें carry करनी है. We need to carry all of these things. So we'll stock it up based on how many of us are there, how many gallons of water will be required, how much of food will be required. We'd create a list and then we decide we'll go for 12 days. हम 12 दिन के लिए जाएंगे. ये सामान की हमको ज़रूरत है. हमने list बना ली. We bought everything, we went. But it was supposed to be 50 of us and all of a sudden, maybe after 2 days, 4 days, we see few more people join us. 2-3 दिन के बाद कुछ और लोग आ जाते हैं, उसके 2-3 दिन के बाद कुछ और लोग आ जाते हैं, and the number of people who were supposed to be there. Based on that, we had stocked up the requirements of food, water, other resources, other necessities, etc. तो हमने सारी चीज़ों का इंतज़ाम जो है, खाना पीना फलाना ढमकाना, लोगों के हिसाब से किया था कि 50 लोग हैं, और 2 दिन में कुछ और लोग आए, उसके बाद कुछ और लोग आए. People kept on joining us, so the number of people who were going to use that, you can say the store of materials over a period of 12 days have now increased from 50 to 75 or maybe 65. Okay? Now what will happen? Before we reach the 12th day, our stock will be over. And that is why the number of people matter a lot in any place and time. इससे पहले कि हम 12वें दिन तक वो सारा सामान आराम से ख़त्म करते, कुछ बचाते, आगे बढ़ते, क्योंकि और लोग भी आ गए थे, वो सामान 12 दिन के पहले ही ख़त्म हो गया. मे बी इट गॉट ओवर ऑन द 9th day और द 8th day. हो सकता है 8वें दिन, 9वें दिन, 10वें दिन ही सामान ख़त्म हो गया. इससे हमें ये समझ आता है कि लोग कहाँ पे कितने हैं, उनकी क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है. ऑल ऑफ दिस मैटर्स अ लॉट. So in 2022, we saw similarly, we create certain resources in every year based on the population that is there. We expect, okay, for so many people, we will require this amount of fuel for, the cars and the machines and the production. We will require this amount of purified water. We will require this amount of air. We will require this amount of this natural resource. We create a list and we produce and develop it. ह्यूमन पॉपुलेशन के हिसाब से, उनकी ज़रूरतों के हिसाब से कितना तेल लगेगा, कितना क्या लगेगा, वो भी हम डेवलप करते हैं. दैट ऑल्सो वी वर्क अराउंड एंड डेवलप ऑन इट. सो द डे वेयर वी फिनिश एवरीथिंग, वी फिनिश द स्टॉक दैट वाज सपोज्ड टू बी देयर इज नोन एज द अर्थ ओवरशूट डे, व्हिच मींस आवर रिसोर्सेज फॉर दिस ईयर आर ऑलरेडी ओवर. नॉर्मली अर्लियर व्हेन दैट वाज डन, पहले जब ये किया जाता था, इट डिड नॉट यूज्ड टू टेक सो it did not used to finish so quickly. It may come to an end maybe in the month of November, maybe December, maybe at least October. That almost all of the year is gone. कि कम से कम पूरा साल चला गया तब खत्म पे आया. But in 2022 we observed that just by 28th July, which means end of July, just 7 months into the year, 5 months still left, just half past, a little over half past the year, we had already finished the resources. And over a period of time, आगे चल के हमने देखा that we are finishing it up even faster. अब हम आधे साल से ज़्यादा भी नहीं पार कर पा रहे हैं और जल्दी खत्म हो जा रहा है, which shows what? Number of people on earth are increasing, their requirements are increasing, and resource consumption is increasing. So it tells us that population becomes an important factor in determining Earth overshoot day. If you don't know about the population, how will you stock it? I stocked food for 50 people for 12 days, but there were 75. That is why my food was over on the 9th day. On the 8th day, I couldn't stay there with the rest of us for another 4 more days. We had to come back or maybe starve, right? So let us understand more about population and its dynamics. What do you mean by population? How does it play an important role? What differences does it make? सबसे पहले, what is population? Population is the number of people that exist in a nation, or if you're talking about a nation's population, or in general on the earth, in the world, if you're taking overall population. Number of humans, everyone, male, female, child, youngsters, adults, elders, everyone together. Now, population is a very, very critical element. Okay? Population is a very, very important factor in determining a lot of things. Let me tell you a very simple thing, that humans in themselves are very important. Okay? If you talk about the resources, humans in themselves are very important. Even if you're talking in terms of resources, you guys, humans themselves are a resource, right? Now, when you think of the world, we look at the world as a developed place, as an evolved place. हम दुनिया को जब देखते हैं, हमको लगता है अरे डेवलपमेंट हो गई है, evolvement हो गई, evolution हो गया. How has that happened? It has happened only with humans, right? Without humans, you cannot imagine the world. लोगों के बिना, इंसानों के बिना आप दुनिया imagine नहीं कर सकते हो. For example, coal is such a big resource. Coal को इतना बड़ा resource हम मानते हैं. It helps us in so many things, but it was just a piece of rock otherwise. If the humans wouldn't have been there, found it, developed the technology to use it, and then started using it as a resource. So even the natural resources get their meanings only based on the utility of humans. इंसानों के लिए जब इस्तेमाल के द्वारा जब इस्तेमाल किए जा सकते हैं, इंसानों के पास जब टेक्नोलॉजी होती है, तभी हम इन्हें भी, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज को भी नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज बोलते हैं. अदरवाइज दे जस्ट रिमेन समथिंग दैट द नेचर हैज. एग्जाम्पल, कोल. टिल वी हैड द टेक्नोलॉजी, कोल वॉज जस्ट अ पीस ऑफ रॉक. किसी एक दूसरे पत्थर की तरह कोयला भी एक पत्थर था, क्योंकि हम ह्यूमंस ने उसको ना डिस्कवर किया था, ना टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई थी उसको इस्तेमाल करने की. So humans are very important for natural resources to be discovered, to be developed, to have the technology and the know-how to find how to use it. So natural resource gets its value because we need it and we develop the technology how to use it. So it becomes valuable. Natural resource इसलिए ज़रूरी बन रहा है क्योंकि हमको ज़रूरत है, हम पढ़ाई लिखाई करके समझते हैं, उसको डिस्कवर करते हैं और ये देखते हैं उसको कैसे यूज़ किया जा सकता है और फिर उसके इस्तेमाल की वजह से उसको उसकी वैल्यू मिलती है. But in all of this, along with the other natural resources, humans themselves are also a very, very big resource. In fact, the most important of all. Humans खुद भी एक बहुत बड़ा resource है. We have our own qualities. Without our mind, body, efforts, none of the resources would be useful. It is us who finds the resources. It is us who learns, gets the knowledge, the skill and develops the technology on how to use the natural resource and makes it what it is. Otherwise, the way the resources are offered by the nature to us cannot be used in its raw form. Nature जैसे हमको resource देती है, कोयला या फिर और भी कुछ, ठीक है, पेट्रोलियम फॉर दैट मैटर, द वे वी ऑब्टेन इट फ्रॉम नेचर, उसको वैसा का वैसा इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते. उसको हमेशा रिफाइन करना होता है हमारे इस्तेमाल लायक बनाने के लिए, और वो सब ह्यूमंस कर रहे होते हैं. तो ह्यूमंस आर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रिसोर्स. Plus humans, the way they have grown, it's very dynamic. Okay, it's very dynamic. When I say dynamic, what does it mean? It means not constant. It has been changing with the time. It has been growing, decreasing, developing, maybe not developing, going backwards. But population keeps on changing. If you look at the graph from since when the humanity has started existing to date, you will see so many shifts. जब से humanity शुरू हुई है उस तब से लेके आप अब तक देखोगे इतने बदलाव आए हैं कि आपको शायद विश्वास ना हो. You may not even be able to believe it probably. So population is a very, very critical element because of all of these things in social studies, because the society is formed of humans, is developed by the humans, is taken forward by the humans. क्योंकि population जो humans है वही आगे बढ़ाते हैं, वही society को develop करते हैं, evolve करते हैं. ठीक है? Ma'am, dynamic is huge, right? Dynamic is basically, देखो बच्चे, first of all, English में a word can have multiple meanings. It also depends on the context. However, dynamic basically means very much having a lot of variations. That is how it is usually used. So, population is also a dynamic element, has a lot of variations. Okay. So, it serves as a point of reference for understanding and appreciating all aspects of environment. Even when we are judging the environment, even when we are studying our natural resources, how they have developed, how they are important, what is happening to them, what again comes to very, very much, as an important factor over there. A referral point over there is the understanding and the appreciation of the population, which means population directly affects even the natural resources and its existence, its consumption, etc. It is the people who play a very important role in development of economy, in development of society. Without people, there is no society. Without people, there can be no economy. Okay? Tasha, you will see how is it not constant. We have just started. The whole chapter is about it. You will get the answer to that question. So, how we are developing the society, how we are making a new society, how we are making civilizations, नई technology बनाना, नई दुनिया बनाना, नए settlements बनाना, how the world used to be 500 years back, we are nothing close to it now. It has changed completely upside down. दुनिया 500 साल पहले से compare करोगे, forget 500 years. Even 100 years if you go back, no internet, no different kind of other technologies like metro. 200 years back, you wouldn't have the trains, vehicles, TV, internet. Imagine telephone, mobile phone. How wonderfully we have changed everything. So, it is the people, it is the population that definitely its requirement, its need, its development is making all of these changes happen. How we are using the resources and of course, how we are responding to even the natural events like disasters. Now, what does this mean? So, in our book, it's clearly written, right? If you talk about events like tsunami, yesterday itself, I'm not wrong, earthquake was experienced in Delhi and the areas around it. 2 days back, Nepal got really destructed because of these events of earthquake. Why are we calling them disasters? Because the lives of humans are getting affected and is getting damaged. So even a disaster is a disaster because it is affecting and destroying human life and properties and resources. If it is just, if nothing gets affected, if humans are not there, then it will just be another natural event. अगर ह्यूमंस को इससे नुकसान ना पहुंचे तो इसको हम सिर्फ एक नेचुरल इवेंट की तरह लिस्ट करके छोड़ देंगे. इट विल नॉट बी नोन एज अ नेचुरल डिजास्टर. ठीक है. Prepare, add value to each product, what they found. Tasha, yes, of a richer scale. Correct. Correct. So that is why population is so very important. That is why population matters so much. Right? Now talking about population of India. अगर मुझे इंडिया की पॉपुलेशन की बात करनी है, बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पॉपुलेशन इन जनरल, what does the population of India mean? So, your ma'am, you're telling that people add value to each product, what they found, and use them excessively. Sai Tanmay, yes. I am kind of saying that, and it's not just me who is saying that. That's what a book says. That's what the scientists say. When you go to class 10th, you will read the very first chapter called Resources and Development, and you will see over there that humans are the biggest resource. They are at the center of all the resources that are there. So there are a lot of natural resources, for example, the sun, the air, the water, which we are able to use. But in general, for the natural resource to become such an important thing for us, until unless the humans interact with them, they cannot. A lot of natural resources in its rawest form, in its raw form, in its crude form, cannot directly be utilized by us. So humans use their skill, their mind, their knowledge, their technology, extract it, change it and make it usable, or find the ways to use it. Otherwise, it is just there as is. Coal is just a rock. Diamond is just another rock. Unless you find it, you polish it, cut it in a particular shape, put it in the jewelry and make it worth crores. There's a human which is adding the value to it, finding the technology to use it, and then of course using it and making it even more valuable. Okay? We're not talking about over exploitation or anything. We're talking about how population is important. Guys, one thing can have 10,000 perceptions to it. And when I'm explaining something, you can be like, ma'am, what are you saying? Humans are destroying the resources. Are you saying it is getting its value because of the humans? We are not talking about resources being destroyed right now. What we are saying is how resources were discovered, how development happened, and it all happened because a human population came into existence and started creating these things. So, in that one statement, there may be 2-3 elements. What we need to focus on from the perspective of the topic that we are reading is why population is important. Why are we studying about it? Why do we need to study about it? So till now we were just understanding the importance of population, and because population is so important, not just to the world but to our nation, to each individual, to all of us, that is why it becomes important for us to analyze the population more, understand it more, understand the requirements of the population, understand how population growing or decreasing has impacted the world, has defined the direction of the world, how humanity has evolved. ठीक है, ह्यूमैनिटी कैसे चेंज होती गई है, कैसे बदलता गया है. ठीक है. हाय हैंडसम बॉय, what do you want me to explain again? Sure I can, but you'll have to specifically tell me which point. For the past 15 minutes I've been explaining a lot of things. You'll have to tell me which point exactly. Now talking about India's population, guys, this is based on the data that we have received in 2011. ठीक है, हमने 2011 में एक डेटा रिसीव किया है. उसके basis पे the numbers that you see over here, you will find back at that time India was not the largest populated nation. India did not have a population of 1.4 to 1.5 billion people. Okay? So all the numbers that you see is based again on the census of 2011. So India's population as on March 2011 was 1210.6 million, which is 1.21 billion. ठीक है, making almost 17.5% of the world's population. तब हम दुनिया के 17.5% पॉपुलेशन के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल थे 1.21 बिलियन या 1.22 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन के साथ. This large population is unevenly distributed across India's vast land of 3.28 million square kilometers. So in the very first chapter of geography, we had read that the overall stretch of land that we have is 3.28 square kilometers, which is roughly like what, 4% of India's world's total land. But the amount of population that resides on this land is almost 18%, 17.5% of the total world's population is placed on 4% of its land. So the population is huge, is unevenly distributed, which means equal number of people do not stay in equal amount of area. There are some areas where a lot of people stay, there are some areas where very less people stay. How does that vary? That study also will be doing. So let's first answer this question. The dash is the point of reference from which all the other elements are observed. and from which they derive the significance and meaning, population or topography. How do we, what is the point of reference from where we take all the elements as for our observation, and their importance is derived, their meaning is derived, whether be it natural disaster, natural resources. So Shubhra and Tushant, perfect answer, correct timing, good job. Anjali and Stasha have also answered correctly. Sai Tanmay has taken an attempt. I'm waiting for Drushti and Tanmay to answer, and the correct answer is population. पॉपुलेशन के हिसाब से हम सब कुछ डिफाइन करते हैं ना, हर एक चीज़ जो है पॉपुलेशन के हिसाब से डिफाइन की जाती है इन स्टडी ऑफ सोशल साइंस. पॉपुलेशन दैट इज़ वाई प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. इंसानों का क्या रोल है सोसाइटी में, इकोनॉमी में, ह्यूमन रेस में, रिसोर्स कैसे इस्तेमाल करते हैं, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज, नेचुरल डिजास्टर्स, कैलमिटीज़, हर एक चीज़ का मीनिंग जो है ह्यूमन बींग्स के ऊपर क्या इम्पैक्ट डालता है उस हिसाब से डिफाइन होता है. सो एज पर 2023 इफ यू गाइस सी, India's population is almost 1.45 billion and we account 17.76% of the total world's population. So in terms of percentage, we have not changed a lot because overall world's population has also increased, but the number of people has changed and we have become the top populated nation in the entire world. सबसे ज़्यादा लोग हमारे पास. Now if you go into the details, अगर हम अब detail में घुसे, numbers को देखें, India's population size and distribution. So what we will observe is, you guys, that as per 2011 data, 2011 का data अगर हम देखते हैं, UP is the most populous state in India, even in today's date, by the way. Okay. So what you'll observe is, what I was trying to tell you, India is a huge land, right? We have 3.28. You understand, that's like a whole lot of area. हमारा देश जो है वो बहुत बड़ा है, बहुत बड़ा है ना मैम? पॉपुलेशन कब स्टार्ट होगा बच्चे? ओ सॉरी, पैस्टरलिस्ट कब स्टार्ट होगा? यशिका हाय, वी विल बी स्टार्टिंग पैस्टरलिस्ट आई थिंक इन अ वीक, एक हफ्ते के बाद शुरू करेंगे हम, ठीक है? So 2011 का census, or even in today's census, if you see, we are saying that UP is the most populated state of the entire country. Okay. Hi Dhanush. Now understanding India is a huge piece of land. But one thing you will observe, that the population is not equally distributed. That is what we were telling initially also. Population is not equally distributed, right? What do we see? There are some areas where there is a lot of people. For example, UP. Out of all the states, guys, we are saying most of the people are staying here. Okay, so there are some areas where like a lot of people stay, and there are some areas, for example, the northeastern countries, or maybe Ladakh, Leh and all of that, if you see. Sorry, northeastern countries, by mistake I've written. Northeastern states. Okay. And some other places also. Population is very less, way less, or maybe mountainous regions, hilly areas. What will you observe? The number of people staying over there is very, very less. So UP we have seen is the highest populated state. It has a population of 199 million, accounting for about 16% of country's population. तो इंडिया की जो टोटल पॉपुलेशन है उसमें से 16% 16 से 17% कहाँ रहती है? यूपी में अलोन. Guys, you have to understand what we are saying. How in the entire world 17.76% of population stays in India, and India is the highest populated country. Similarly, UP is the highest populated state in India, and out of these over here we are talking about 2 billion. 16% of this population stays in UP alone. ठीक है? हाँ जी, you will write in regards of 2011 only. If you want, mention the dates. Let's say if you know the date of 2023, then maybe write what has happened in 23, but also mention that as per 2011, this is what it is. Because NCERT's latest version talks about 2011. It is the news and other places that has that has given us the information about 2023. So I would very strongly recommend that whenever you're writing a number, write as per the data of this year. Also mention 2011 along with it. ठीक है सही तन में? So in the population, we see that as per 2011, 16% of India's population was staying in UP alone. अकेले जो है पूरा का पूरा यूपी में, मतलब आप देखो भैया इतना बड़ा देश है हमारा. Our state, our country is so huge. We have Andaman Nicobar, we have Lakshadweep, we have all these places. But this place alone, right, this place alone, UP alone, has 16% of the population staying in here, and is in fact the largest populated state of India. So when you look at the other populations of few other states, 5 states guys, 5 states are home to more than or almost 50% of our population. लगभग 50% जो हमारी population है वो सिर्फ 5 प्रदेशों में, राज्यों में बसी हुई है. What are these 5 states? यूपी, महाराष्ट्र, बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल एंड आंध्र प्रदेश. है ना? तो हमारा आंध्र प्रदेश है, महाराष्ट्र है, यूपी है, बिहार, ये झारखंड गलती से कर दिया मैंने, ठीक है, बिहार है और हमारा वेस्ट बंगाल है. ये सारे स्टेट्स जो हैं, these 5 states are home to more than half of the population. Rajasthan is actually the largest state. But in terms of area, like how Russia is the largest in terms of area, but India is largest in terms of population. Similarly, UP is largest in terms of population, but Rajasthan is largest in terms of area. Despite of that, it doesn't come in the top 5 highest populated states in India. So area may not necessarily be proportional or related to the number of people staying there. ठीक है? Priyanshi will be discussing the reason that why some areas have high population, some areas have low population. We'll discuss that. ठीक है? So one conclusion, what have we had? Area is not proportional or responsible for the population कहीं पे भी कितने लोग रह रहे हैं वो एरिया पे डिपेंड नहीं करता है. डज नॉट डिपेंड ऑन द एरिया. राजस्थान में इतने सारे लोग इतनी सारी जगह है, द लार्जेस्ट इन टर्म्स ऑफ एरिया, but has only 5.5% of people of the total country's population staying there. 16 stays in UP, And in fact, other states are way higher in population than Rajasthan, which is the largest in terms of area, right? So let's quickly do this another quiz question. What percentage of India's population do the 5 states UP, Maharashtra, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and West Bengal contribute to as per the 2011 census? 50%, 20%, 80% or 35%? इंडिया के जो ये 5 देश हैं, 5 प्रदेश हैं, वो टोटल कितना पॉपुलेशन जो है होल्ड करते हैं? दे आर होम टू व्हाट परसेंटेज ऑफ इंडियाज पॉपुलेशन? ऑलमोस्ट as per 2011 census. 50%, 20%, 80% or 35%? Drushti, Gauranshi, Sai Tanmay, Tina, Tushyan, waiting for you guys to answer. हमारे पास करेक्ट आंसर आ चुका है फ्रॉम अंजलि, प्रियांशी, शुभ्रा, स्ताशा. You guys have answered absolutely correct. Good job. Dhanush has answered, has taken an attempt. Tushant and Tanmay has also taken an attempt. Gauranshi has taken an attempt. Tina has taken an attempt. Okay. Guys, we'll look at the answer in 3, 2, 1. And it is home to almost 50% of the people. Almost half of the population is located in UP, Maharashtra, Bihar, MP and West Bengal. And maximum 16% out of it is alone in UP. The other 4 states are home to the other 34% of the population. So 5 states are home to almost all of these people, and that's as per the counting 1.2 billion of 2011. Now you just asked, somebody asked me, ma'am, what is the reason then why why states which have larger area do not have largest population? That's the next thing we'll answer. Now guys, there's a term that we are constantly repeating, census, as per the census of 2011, as per the data of 2011. So what is census? Census is a regular study done of various numbers, which is done by the government to have a proper idea of the details and specific of its population. It's done every 10 years. Last one was done around 2011. ठीक है? Pastoralism हम एक हफ्ते बाद करेंगे. After almost 10 days, mid of November will start. So census is an official enumeration, which means calculation of number of population, which is done periodically in India by the government. The first census, you guys, was actually done in 1972. ठीक है, सबसे पहला कब किया गया था? 1972 में, but it was not a complete census. It took us another 9 years where we completed the first census in 1881. Sorry, 1872. ठीक है, सबसे पहला 1872 में किया था. After that, we were successfully able to complete of entire thing in 1881. And since then, the census has been done every 10 years to find the different numbers. Census is done on various things. How many adults are there? What is the population? How many of them are educated? How many are male? How many are female? So when you do a study, you basically, this is an enumeration of the details of the residents, or you can say population, age group, number of people. How do we know that we have 1.45 billion people? Because we have done a study of the numbers, right? How many people are taking birth, how many people are dying. All of these numbers are brought into a report, right? Hi Samarth, good evening, welcome to the session. So the Indian census is a comprehensive source of demographic, social and economic data. So it also tells us how many people are above the poverty line, how many people are below the poverty line, how many people are rich, how many people are paying what taxes. So it gives you a total idea. Economic data deta hai, social data deta hai. It tells us about the number of people following a particular religion, their gender, their ethnicity, their caste, all of these details, how many people are staying in which area. Each and every specific detail government has because of the census which is conducted. And it is very important to decide the programs and the policies that you want to run in your nation. Okay. Now again, the question is, why is the population different? So for that we have to understand density. Okay? For that, we have to understand density. What do you mean by density? Number of people over a particular unit of area. So, we define a unit of area, which is 1 square kilometer. So, in 1 square kilometer, how many people are there in a particular area? That is known as population density. When we look at the population density of India, it is very different. Some areas have it very, very high. Some areas have it very, very low. For example, in Bihar and West Bengal, the population density is very high, which means even in the smallest of the areas, a lot of people are staying. So, in Bihar and West Bengal, you will see 1100, more than 1000 people are staying in every square kilometer. UP, which is the largest populated city, is also very huge in area. So, the number of people, the population density is not above 750 per square kilometer, which is a good thing, which means in a small area, not a lot of people are staying in a very congested, populated manner. Okay. So, it basically is number of people over per unit area and is a very, very important indicator of the population distribution. India is one of the most densely populated countries globally. Naturally, we only have 4% of land, but we owe up to almost 18% of the population of world. So, it's very natural, 4% की ज़मीन पे 18% का population है, the density has to be big. That is why, guys, you will see that buying houses, buying land in India is way more expensive than buying it in countries like US. US में घर खरीदना ज़्यादा आसान है compared to India. क्यों ऐसा है? Because the value of land and houses is way more, is very expensive in India. Kyun? Because demand and supply, the demand is very high in India because the population is huge, but the supply is less because land is limited and less. US is in fact higher than us in the amount of area present and way behind in terms of the population that is there. So, our population is very much, land is limited. That is why the land becomes costly. The number of people who want to buy that land are way more. So, demand is high, supply is less, which increases the value of the land or the houses in India. That is why it's expensive and it's a little difficult because of different loan policies in India as well. But the reason why it is really, really high is because of this. The amount of land present for the population that exists is very less, right? Hi, Karan. So, India is one of the most densely populated countries with a population density of 382 person per square kilometer in 2011. Other countries have it less than that. Population density is very significantly across Indian states. Jaise I told you, Bihar mein it's 1102 people per square kilometer, whereas there are just 17 people per square kilometer in Arunachal Pradesh. The number of people we see varies greatly from region to region. Now, let's quickly answer this question, which is, in India, the population census is conducted at a gap of how many years? 12, 11, 10 or 5? Priyanshi, Shubhra, Tasha, Tushant, Tanmay, kya baat hai? Absolutely correct answer, perfect timing. Anjali, Dhanush, Sai, Tanmay have also answered correctly. Drushti, you have not answered, take an attempt. Karan, I will answer your question in a quick moment. Priyanshi, demographic means basically related to the population, to the structure of the population. ठीक है? 2021 में COVID था, Priyanshi? Were we stuck by COVID or not? So yeah, a census is a process of calculating, acquiring information, etc. ठीक है? So only Bangladesh and Japan are the two countries, you guys, which has a higher average population density than India, which is above 320 per square kilometer of what India has. Otherwise, all the countries are behind us. Okay. Now, factors that affect population density. So there are two questions that I have been asked. One question I think Priyanshi has asked, or somebody had asked, ma'am, why is the population not distributed as per area, or what defines where population will be more or where it will be less? And Karan has asked me, ma'am, what is the reason behind the increase of population in India? So I will first answer Karan's question. Why Indian population is increasing? I think there are multiple reasons behind it, which not exactly we're also going to study all of it over here in this chapter. Hi Gamerji, hi Pratiksha, good evening and welcome. But why is it increasing? First of all, illiteracy and unawareness is a big problem, and because of which people do not even have family planning. Family planning again is very important, which comes a lot of times with awareness and education. Second, in India, a lot of segments like people who are in villages are not aware of their rights or do not follow exactly all the things, and they also practice polygamy, which is getting married by multiple times. Then, because you're not educated, you do not understand that having more children can be a problem. So, poverty is another issue, and it's very surprising, but actually people think that the more number of children they'll have, the more number of people will be working in their house and more amount of income will be coming to home. Okay? Then a lot of times India has another unique problem. People want a boy child, because of which number of girls, 5 girls are born, 7 girls are born, but they'll keep having a child in expectation of having a boy child at the end of the day. So a lot of social, a lot of economical, a lot of factors are responsible for the kind of population explosion that we are having. Plus, the government does not really intervene like how China had intervened in terms of everyone had one child policy, and that is how they were able to control their population. Our government is not doing any such steps for multiple reasons. Again, because our culture, our heritage, our background, our society is very different and was not required till now maybe, but now we need to start thinking about it. Also, we need to start thinking about equitable distribution of resources. So that was the first reason. Now, the other child who had asked me, ma'am, why is the population different in different areas? We are answering that through this segment. Bacha, the density of a population always is determined of how the physical features or how easy it is to reside in a particular area. For example, Punjab and Haryana and Kerala, if you see, you'll find a huge chunk of people staying there. Why? It is a flat land. So, staying there, transportation to these places, having businesses over there is very easy. It's very easy because of the fertile land of Kerala and the northern plains of your Punjab and Haryana to grow good amount of production, which will help the transportation on the fertile plain to also take it to the market. तो यहाँ पे आप आराम से बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से फार्मिंग वगैरह का ऑक्यूपेशन कर सकते हो. Because the land is fertile, more amount of products are growing, so a lot of population gets attracted to these areas. Northern plains mein, plateaus mein, some fertile plains mein, you'll find more people staying compared to the areas of hill station, hilly regions. Hilly regions have more forests, more rivers, very rugged path, difficult to build transportation, difficult to build connection and access to these areas, difficult to stay, cultivate, practice agriculture, build houses. So less number of people are staying there. तो जहाँ पे भी रहना आसान है वहाँ लोग जल्दी बस जाते हैं, जहाँ रहना मुश्किल है वहाँ कम population होती है. Simplest explanation ये है. Now if you want to see one by one, we'll look at here. Rugged terrain and unfavorable climatic condition lead to sparse population. So Arunachal Pradesh में less people are staying. On the other northeastern states or mountains, mountainous states, जैसे or places like Leh, Ladakh, Jammu, Kashmir, for that matter, a lot of places in Himachal. All of these places have big mountains. It's difficult to travel there. It's difficult to build roads, trains, even flights are a lot of times not able to reach there. So less number of people are staying there क्योंकि वहाँ पे काम करना, to do whatever occupation, to have connectivity with the rest of the country, to have goods transported there for your population, all of this becomes difficult and also make it expensive over there. So in सारी जगहों पे जहाँ unfavorable condition है, the weather condition are very harsh, extreme winters and all of that, people will not be staying as much. Whereas peninsular states, Assam, they have moderate population because they do have some hilly terrain and low rainfall, but it is easier to reside over there. Places where it's very easier to reside like northern plains in Kerala, which has very fertile soil, where it's very easy to have transportation. A lot of people stay here, and that is why you will find a lot of population density. So are we able to understand that flat plains, fertile soil, abundant rainfall, a lot of geographical factors matter. So let's quickly answer this question. Northern plains and Kerala have moderate population densities influenced by hilly terrain and moderate to low rainfall. Is this true or is this false? Nanush, Drushti, Sasha have taken an attempt, but it seems have got confused. Sai, Tanmay and Tushant have answered absolutely correct in perfect timing. Anjali, Shubhra, Tanmay, good job, correct answer. The statement is false. Northern Plains and Kerala do not have moderate population. They are densely populated. These are the areas which have very, very high population because they have plain surface, flat plains and very fertile soil and also high rainfall, good amount of rainfall, which is very good for their population. Okay? Hanji, Sai, Tanmay, these are the factors. Guys, please remember relief, plain, climate, occupation, transportation, resources, etc. are the factors which affect the population density. So let's quickly summarize what we have done today. Population is key in social studies for understanding the environment. India's 2011 population was 1,210.6 million, which was 17.5% of the world's population. Now it's 1.46 billion. मतलब इसको अगर मैं बिलियन में कन्वर्ट कर दूँ, या आप कह सकते हो 1,400 या 1,450 or 60 million types, which is 17.6 of today's 2023 world's population. Uneven population distribution in India, we have understood. Uttar Pradesh is the most populous, while Rajasthan is the largest state by area. The Indian census offers a very detailed social, economic and demographic data to us about the population and its people. India's population density in 2011 was 382 per square kilometer on a world level. Factors affecting the density are terrain, climate, soil fertility, climate, etc. Northern plains and Kerala have high density because of the favorable conditions of these. Now, the census gives us information such as population size, growth rate, quality. But what is so important for a nation? Why is it so important? How are these data helpful in the process of development? Do we really consider these? What do we do with this data? In the next session, guys, tomorrow, same time, same place, we will find out. Please make sure that when you if you're not registered, set the correct goal, go on home under Imbibe live classes and make sure that you are registered. Okay, all these classes, as you can see, are the upcoming sessions. Please ensure that you're registered for all the sessions, not just for social science, but other subjects as well. Do not miss on it. Do not miss checking out the Imbibe Lens app. And please make sure that you are connected with us on the Telegram channel. This is this is like Diwali break kab tak hoga? Diwali break, so 14th and 15th, Monday and Tuesday basically, it's just 13th and 14th, there will be no classes. 15th onwards will be back. So 2 days. Okay? And please make sure that you guys are connected over here. This is the QR code and this is the link. So I'll see you guys over there. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening. Take good care of yourselves. And I'll see you guys soon. Till the next time, stay tuned and keep imbibing.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.